Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is the Eye Behind the Empire, where we talk about what's really going on behind your business. I'm a fractional COO and tech strategist who believes freedom starts with clarity, and if your back end's a mess, you'll feel it everywhere. Because what you can't see might be what's holding you back. Let's fix that.
If your business feels heavier lately, here's a plot twist. Nothing's wrong. Oh, that's right. I said it. Nothing's wrong. You just outgrew the back end you built. That's it. Shocker. I know. This is one of my favorite topics to talk about. Well, you'll probably hear me say that a lot because I have a lot of favorite topics. But I love seeing all these things about like your business feels heavier lately, here's, the cause or here's this. And I don't see many talking about how like as your business evolves, your systems have to evolve too. And like that shit's just not magically happening. They don't magically update themselves. You actually have to do it or hire somebody such as myself to do so. So, I mean, everybody loves the idea of growth. I mean, yeah, we all want to grow our businesses until it starts happening and suddenly those cute little DIY systems can't hang anymore. And then that's when it kind of sucks because, and this is where a lot of clients end up coming to me because they've reached this point where they can't grow anymore unless their systems are upgraded, and they don't wanna do that shit. Some people just don't like tech, they don't wanna deal with it, they don't it's just not their thing, and I get it, okay, that's why I exist because I do love it, and I like making things better to where you can grow your business, and so it's just I don't know, I just love this topic. I think it's so important to just recognize that as your business grows, your systems have to as well. It's just natural. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. Tech is nothing to be scared of. And yeah, I think we just dive in. Let's just start with why growth breaks things. Let's just start there. One, as your revenue increases, your tasks multiply. Okay. More clients equals more onboarding, more support, delivery, communications. You may even have more than one program now. And guess what? That's going to have its own onboarding. That's going to have its own contract, its own set of communication, all the things. And tech is required for those items. I mean, I don't suggest sending every email personally to clients because you're one person and you'll end up hating your life. So, okay, so other things, you add team members as you grow. They need onboarding, they need contracts, they need all the things. Um, yeah, so it's like you start growing and then it's like one day you wake up and you're like, oh shit, these workflows are not cutting it anymore. And it seems like at every stage of business, something that used to work becomes this bottleneck. And one thing I've noticed is some folks will see that there's this bottleneck and rather than just fix it, they just let it ride or they like try to supplement it with some sort of like human interaction as well, which just creates more chaos, or they'll try to duct tape it elsewhere with something else. And then when shit starts breaking, because I'm going to tell you right now, I cannot tell you the number of times that Zapier has upgraded. I don't know if it's Zapier upgrading the app or like the owner of the app itself, like Wix is one of them, where like there will be an update within that. There's no notification. And then the clients, going, hey, so and so, this client didn't get whatever. And here I go looking to find the problem. And I'm like, it disconnected. And because, there was an update and there was, and if you've duct taped a whole bunch of things together, that's a whole bunch of stuff to try to trace back and fix versus just having it, done well the first time. That just my rambling thoughts. So, some areas that I find outgrow themselves the fastest, tech stack, of course. I mean, tools that were fine at 2K months, crumble when you reach 20K plus months. We got, like I just mentioned, duct tape tech stops being cute when it blocks your revenue. Um, and like I said, common signs that your tech is outdated, errors, manual workarounds, the I'll fix it laters. I mean, all of that. There's also your internal processes. Those will definitely outgrow themselves. If you're handing off tasks and there's no like documentation, so you don't you do not have to have some like crazy Notion board. You don't need to have some like super formal SOP with, the pretty titles and it's in a Google Doc. You do not need all that shit. I mean, it's a nice to have. It is. It is nice to have all those things organized. Yes. But is that what you're going to have when you first start out? No. I mean, if you want to sit down and take the time to do it, then by all means, knock yourself out. But I always say when you're going to first like start documenting your stuff and laying out the different tasks that you do and all of that, yeah, put it in a Google Doc. That's the easiest I find. But you don't gotta get crazy with it. Just document the shit. That's all you gotta do. Just put what task it is, what the ultimate outcome is, and the steps to get there. That's it. Maybe throw in a loom. That kind of makes things easier. So that's just my suggestion. Other things, if your team members ask repeated questions because nothing lives anywhere, if you as the CEO are the holder of all the info of how every single thing works in your business, that is not healthy. That is a bottleneck. Okay. Your business has outgrown that, and you need to have some resources where things live so that other team members can handle things and not have to ask you. Just saying. And then your offer delivery. This is a big one. If your signature program used to be manageable and then now it's not, if your clients need more support, if your onboarding isn't smooth, if your fulfillment isn't consistent, that's a big giveaway that your offer delivery has outgrown things as to where you were and then now where you are. Something to keep in mind when your offer grows and your back end doesn't, then your quality can drop. And I have like a whole spiel, I'll call it, on white glove onboarding for clients. I need to just do a podcast on it. I really do. And just like the importance of it. Maybe I'll record that here soon. But those are just like the big 3 areas I'd say that outgrow themselves the fastest that you want to keep an eye on, or hire an online business manager such as myself to keep an eye on that stuff for you. And then, it's not really something that you have to worry about. So I want to say a mindset shift that you got to have is tech in your operations. It's not something that you set it and forget it. Like that, I feel like that came out at some point and people just kind of went off with it, and that's not the case. That's a lie. That believe me, you do not want to set it and forget it when it comes to your operations and your tech. Much like your marketing. You're not just gonna set it and forget it. I mean, you're gonna have to evolve with the times, I mean, they're all the time changing that algorithm shit. So yeah, you gotta evolve your marketing. I mean, you don't have to change your tech and systems as often, but you do have to pay a bit of attention to it. Systems aren't permanent. They're living, breathing parts of your business. And just like you upgrade your phone, you have to upgrade your operations too. So the number one mistake that I see is founders, founders, CEOs, whatever you want to call yourself, assume their existing systems are good until something breaks publicly. And you do not want that. No, just don't even go that route. So I would say, yeah, just really, it's not something, and I say all this, I don't want people to stress about their tech and their operations. I know it's a stressful thing for people. And I know it's the new year and there's like all kinds of other things going on. And so I don't want people to, start, this is just one more thing. No, like this is to me, and I could be biased, I could be a little partial, but your tech and operations are like the foundation of your business. You want that to be strong. It does not have to be crazy fancy. It does not have to be crazy intricate. Like, and that's something I want people to understand. Like, all businesses have tech and operations, and you can get as fancy as you want with it. But you can also keep it simple, which I think is incredibly important. And that's something I strive to do with my clients. Some, could care less and they're like, just take care of it, Mandy, whatever. And then I have others that like knowing how to manage their own tech or, at least have the basics of things. Because if, God forbid, we stopped working together or like I was out like really, really sick for 2 weeks several months ago. Not that I don't have team members that can step in, but if they, themselves just wanted to step in and do something, they have, limited knowledge on how to handle things. And just keep that in mind when it comes to your tech and operations. You don't have to get crazy with it. Just it just reminds me like all of this, upgrading tools and things like that. It just makes me think of when clients come to me and just, where they are at in their business stage. And most of the time, I mean, now that I think about it, I mean, I've had some that had like a really great launch of a new offer, but their back end was still operating from, a place of 3 years plus prior. And it collapsed. It couldn't handle the weight of the new launch. I mean, luckily, there wasn't major client impact, but there was major back end chaos and trying to make sure that things got delivered and everybody knew where everybody was at. And another major stage, I think the biggest is wanting to grow your business and it's like you just like reach this ceiling and you're like, why can I not get past the ceiling? Like, I want to go further. I want to do more. I want to have more. I want to bring in more business. I want to help more people. I want to have more offers. But it's like this invisible barrier that they've reached that's preventing them from taking the next step. And I'll tell you, it's from having everything in your brain. It's from being this bottleneck. It's from having these limited systems that don't allow you to like give up almost like these processes and these thoughts and these things and it just be taken care of. And so if it's all living in here, then that's blocking you from really being creative, from being in your, zone of genius, if you will. And so if you're like constantly having to worry about your tech or pay attention to, these various pieces or hand deliver these different things, I mean, it just becomes a lot. Or like even if you're wanting to hire somebody, but you're like, shit, it's just easier if I do it all myself. No, it's not. No, it's not. I think I talked about that in another episode. Like it may seem easier in the moment, but like in the long run, you're gonna lose so much time. And so it's just, I don't know. Those are just my ramblings. I mean, I really don't think that people need a full-time, chief technology officer, CTO, if you will, or online business manager. You just need someone who can diagnose and fix the cracks and up level you. And I mean, yeah, while having somebody on your team who's fully managing those, I do, eventually recommend, especially if you're wanting to go to those high 6, 7, 8 figures. Yeah, you're definitely going to need, pretty much a full-time person who can keep an eye on your stuff and make sure that it's running smoothly and that, any new offers that you want to launch are ready to go. Absolutely, you're going to need that kind of person. But I mean, it's really just about having proactive support versus crisis support. And if you've ever had a crisis in your business, it is an effing nightmare. Like, if you had something crash overnight, clients aren't getting things, you're getting a bunch of messages from people. I mean, that sucks. It really does. I've been on both sides and it sucks all the way around. And you just don't want that. I mean, most of the time you can explain to, clients, sorry, we had a tech glitch. Like people are pretty understanding of those kind of things. But I mean, you don't want to be having tech glitches all the time. I mean, that starts to look bad. So, I mean, if you have like one every couple of years, that's one thing, but you don't want to have tech glitches all the time. You can't use that excuse like over and over again. You know what I mean? So it's just, I don't know, in my opinion, having an expert prevents that, oh my gosh, my entire system is down the night before my launch moment. If you ever had one of those, then you know what I mean too. So, how to know it's time to update your systems. So, we kind of talked about this a little bit. Um, so, I would say constantly doing things manually, especially if you're like, okay, just this once, I'm just going to do this manually real quick. Yeah, that usually doesn't work out so well. It usually becomes more than just the once. Usually. If your tools, I should say, feel like glitchy or patched together, if you are having to visit multiple different systems to gain all the information that you need to form a complete picture. Yeah. So I'm going to say, like, if you have some of your client information that lives in system A, and then you have some in system B, and then you have, you know, maybe another piece that's in system C. And in order to gauge where this client is at in their journey, you need to look at those three places. It is time to upgrade something. Like, as a business owner, you just don't have that kind of time to be looking in three different places. And it's just not a smart move. It's going to make growth very difficult. Another couple, other things. If you avoid making changes because everything feels fragile, or if you're afraid you're going to I don't want to say if you're afraid you're going to break something, because I do get that a lot. And I think that's more so people just being afraid of tech. So I don't want to say that. Let me circle back to that, because I mean, there's a difference between not wanting to make changes because it all feels fragile and not wanting to make changes because you're afraid of tech. So I would say, like, when I mean it all feels fragile, this would be when you have everything so patched together that, like, if you make this change here, how, do you have 5 other zaps that it's going to affect? And that's scary. So I have seen that. So let me know in the comments if that rings a bell for anybody. Um, I mentioned, if your team keeps coming back to you with, all these questions of how things work. One, they should also be documenting, but you need to document too. I mean, you can't just be handing stuff off with no sort of documentation. I mean, there needs to be at least a bulleted list. It doesn't have to be crazy. And then, big one, if you feel like you're working twice as hard for the same result, I mean, come on, right? So let's talk about future proofing without overwhelm. So, things I recommend to folks that, if they're not quite to the point of hiring an OBM. So, like, if I have an illumination intensive with somebody and they're just not to the point of moving forward to have a brilliance partnership, I would say do quarterly system checkups. Just what zaps are you using? You know, kind of just I mean, you could use an illumination intensive for this. But just kind of like diving in, just kind of like spot checking things, making sure things are good, kind of just reviewing the flow of things. Does that still feel good the way that you have it going? Do you want to change anything about it? Have you added or removed any pieces? That kind of thing. And that also goes along with reviewing automations. You especially want to review automations after every launch or offer change. I mean, and before you launch, you should be like testing everything anyway, but like after you've done a full launch or like changed an offer, you just want to go through, and it's almost like looking at automations with like a fresh set of eyes of just making sure, like, okay, is that making sense how that's still rolling, or did we change anything? That's a big one. And then audit your tools annually. Are they still the best fit? I mean, listen, moving tools sucks, but if you pinpoint a tool that you need to get rid of, yes, it's not super, super fun, but if you need to move, move. I mean, the more information that you put in, the more information that there is to move. And that's the big lift, is moving your information. And when I say information, I mostly mean like statistics or customer information. That's the kind of stuff that you have to move to the new system. And sometimes those don't line up apples to apples. I mean, the main stuff does, first name, email, whatever. But like notes and recordings and those kinds of things, they don't always line up apples to apples. And so the sooner you pinpoint that a system does not work for you, the sooner you need to move. Now, I have people that like to use the elimination intensive to, go through an audit of their tools, and we go through, what's working, what's not working, and then go through like, a short list of recommendations in order to move to that would fit their needs better. So that's an option. And then up-level your processes when you up-level your offers. Think about it. So, all of that to say, I don't want growth to feel chaotic to you. I want you to feel supported in it, in your operations, in your tools, in your systems. All of that should make you feel supported. If you do not feel supported in your growth by your business, which is your foundation, then it is time to visit those items. whether by yourself or with the help of someone like myself. There's plenty of other folks, on the internet that offer something similar. It's not something to put off. It really isn't. Your system should evolve with you, not give out on you. Your future you will thank present you for taking this seriously now. Okay? Thank you all for joining me on another episode of The Eye Behind the Empire. If this resonated with you, please, please, please share it with another CEO who could benefit. And I will see you all on the next Eye Behind the Empire.
Thanks for listening to The Eye Behind the Empire. If today's episode helped you see your business more clearly, be sure to follow the show and share it with another CEO who needs it. And if you're ready to turn your hidden brilliance into operational freedom, visit illuminaops.com to learn how we can make it happen. Until next time, keep your focus clear and your empire aligned.